Hey everyone. New appearance this week, this update. I got rid of code taking up half the screen, so you should get a clearer picture of what's happening in the game. And then I just filled this corner with what I'm going to be talking about. So you have an idea of what I accomplished in this past 2 weeks. Also, sound is in the game now, so I will play a little with sound on and then come back and talk over everything with the sound off after that. So let's just jump right into what I've done so far. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's run this. Okay, so that's enough of just watching the game. I'm going to turn the system audio down. Maybe. We'll see if that works. And then talk specifics. So let's look at the game. Catapult. This is starting to, the actual game taking shape, so each flag can only make a certain unit type. Up here, you can make a catapult. Catapult auto fires, and the idea is that you would congest people and then kill them with the catapult. Fun things, the arc, the little shadow of the ball. You'll notice the ball has a bounce afterwards. So I've made it, whenever it hits the first person, the next person it hits, it'll do a little less damage. So, but you can kill up to like 3 people clumped together of the basic units. Another thing I've added in is this wall. The idea of this game is that you'll be able to build the fort up, starting with the first upgrade of a wall, and it'll stop units and they'll have to break down the wall before they can get through. The next major feature, so let's make some soldiers and then we can upgrade them. You can see they visually changed. Also, there were 2. A third will pop out now, so you can get more soldiers with an upgrade. They do more damage, everything you'd expect. So just, the core code to make that possible is in place. The other upgrade, it's easiest just to start over to show you the next one. So archers, I gave them an upgrade of the same type. They changed, another one comes out. The combat has been overhauled completely. So it used to just say deal damage of, self damage to the target. Now it actually goes to a service in the code that takes the attacker and the defender, an attack object to be specific, and it runs that attack object, it spits out how much damage should be done. So in this case, it does the core damage, and then it applies a modifier, which is damage over time. You could say these are fire arrows. The modifier can have the amount of damage, the amount of time, the interval, what particle effect to play, and that'll work for damage, walking speed, attack speed. Basically, you could apply all of this type of stuff with the code now. The other major part, if we start over again, watch. So if we watch this foot soldier come out, it'll take 7 arrows to fully kill him. And I've given him no strength and no resistance. The skeleton coming out, I've made him resistant to piercing. So when these guys try to start shooting him, it should take 9 arrows to actually kill the skeleton. At this, I don't know what will be balanced, but at this point, it'll do 25% less damage if the enemy is resistant, and if the enemy is weak to something, it'll do 25% more damage. The other thing you'll notice is I have units, different types of units coming out at different times within the same wave. The wave being when this one circle of the round, but you don't want a wave to just be fixed to a certain amount of units from one location, so that allows for more flexibility. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. I feel like I'm getting out of the learning curve and into just adding and adding and adding features. In doing that, one thing that shows up constantly, I'm always talking about, is the need to refactor. So I wanted to show like just a clear case of what I mean when I say I need to refactor. Let's look at just my level code. This is horrible right here. Each frame, characters need to be updated. Every time I add a new unit type, soldier, archer, footman, launcher, knight, ranger, skeleton, I have to come in here and copy paste the same line. This is clearly not the best or the most scalable code, and that happened in a few places, like finish line. When a footman or a skeleton crosses the finish line, they each need a method to tell them to remove a life and fade out. That's the kind of stuff that just having the bad code won't really affect anything, but it's just redundant and tedious, so that's the kind of stuff I have to fix. And by adding all of these features, it brings this stuff to light. And then next week, so if we run this again, there's too much of, I click and just wait. And this, I think, is one of the biggest flaws in most tower defense games. How many seconds am I going to go with doing nothing but watching the screen? So I think the pacing of the actions is something I'm interested in, and it's almost a math in itself of how many hit points should everything have to make it feel like you need to do the right action at the right time, so that you're never bored and just sitting around watching things happen, that especially if you already know the outcome of how it's going to happen. So I kind of want to take this game and make it fun, put flags where it needs to be, just make it interesting. I only have 1 week to do that, because then I'll travel for 2 weeks, and that's extra motivation to show family and friends, to actually give them something to play that is somewhat fun. So in that week, balance, and even usability, indicating why you can only build a catapult here and soldiers here and archers here and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just a week of polish and playability, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, tune in 2 weeks. Bye.